Hello, it's Connie here for day 94 of meditation, and today we delved into a bit of self-perception, a bit of ego as well. Yeah, and pretty much how an emphasis on the self and how that relates to suffering. That's what we delved into, and it stemmed from reading a CBT book earlier, CBT for Anxiety, which is almost done. And it placed a heavy emphasis on self-perception being the reason, or essentially negative self-perception, but also too much self-emphasis, too much self-focused attention being the reason for people to suffer. Reason being is self-focused attention places more attention inwards on oneself to the point we have less attention to navigate external reality, and this correlates to being more uncomfortable within our environment. It correlates with placing more emphasis on the self. So we start to do it and then we get a bit more uncomfortable, and we try to fix discomfort by placing more self-focused attention, looking to control the situation through our actions and self-image. And yeah, this just stems into further anxiety and further discomfort because we're less free to navigate the environment from a place of clarity and purity, and we're too focused on the self. And the self is essentially ego. So we have egos, and egos are our self-perception. It's the perception of self which we wish to give off into the world. It's the perception of self we wish others to view us by. It's literally our image of self. It's who we believe ourselves to be, and we attach all these labels to it: positive, negative, all sorts of labels. I'm cool, I'm all over the shop, all sorts of stuff. We can attach labels, and then our ego, when we attach these labels, we naturally conform to these labels. That is what the ego does. So, and that's why it tries to obtain resources, obtain the praise of others, obtain things which bolsters this sense of self, so that we are able to hold our depicted self-image to a higher esteem, and then we're able to conform to this higher esteem and pursue that and try and claim more and more and more and more. And yeah, it's very pursuing. It wants to pursue things. It needs reassurance. It needs a positive sense of self. But the problem with ego is it's actually one of the main contributing reasons to our suffering. Reason being is we attach ourselves so much to this emphasis on self. This emphasis on self needs things. It attaches itself to things. It blames things for its own downfall. It attaches to other things for its well-being. It can attach to a job for its own sense of self. Therefore, well-being is determined by job. Sense of self attached to relationship, well-being attached to relationship. It attaches itself to all these labels, and we've said before, people are so unique that saying that you're this and that and this and that and this and that, it's not going to work, because you're not this and that. You don't even know what you are. I know that's strange, but obviously that comes from a place of no self, which is still a developing process and takes a while to develop, essentially through lessening ego. But essentially who you are within any environment is like the deep down you is the stable, it's the constant, it's the observer that sees and doesn't attach itself to anything. Because even ego, it's attaching to thoughts, youthful thoughts that don't truly exist, and like pew, and they float off, pew, and they float off. But we attach ourselves to these thoughts, and we create an image of self out of these thoughts, and then we just conform to this personality, and yeah, we can determine this personality of worldly possessions, of praise received by others, of all sorts of things, of the internal beliefs we have of ourselves. And ego, it creates a separate fragment to oneself that pursues reality. So it separates oneself from the whole When one separates themselves from the whole, they place too much emphasis on the self. They're like, okay, I'm different from everything that's here. I'm my own being, I'm my own self, and I pursue this world and I want what I want. I want to be this person, I want to do this, want to do that. And then we attach ourselves to those outcomes. We attach ourselves to being that person. We attach ourselves to all sorts of things. This ego, this thing we want to live up to, or this thing which we just represent ourselves as being. And yes, it just places too much emphasis on the self, too much regard to want to obtain things for the self, to bolster this self-image which we display, or which we want to give off into the world, to the point where we cause our own suffering. We cause our own suffering because when you're in this life, and we're in this life, and as far as we know, everything is connected. The non-dual atoms across the universe are connected to atoms in this world, and everything is one. We are all born from the same existence. We've said that before. All born from the same. We're just part of the universe, and we're flowing with it. We're part of the water. We're not separate from it. We're not a separate fragment that is trying to claim other fragments. We're just a whole thing, and we just move as one. And yeah, when we're always trying to obtain for the self, the suffering is caused because we are always pursuing for a grander self-image, to understand a self, to understand an illusionary self that doesn't truly exist. It does in your mind, but we are ever changing. We are always changing. We're a feature of impermanence too, so we are ever moving. Today will be different to tomorrow to the day after. And so you're never going to be oneself. You're never going to be this image you display. You are always as you are, because you're always flowing in the moment. And it's about becoming this awareness, becoming the observer that knows that the stability of self doesn't come from creating a grand self, creating a self that everyone loves and admires and all of that nonsense. That's just going to cause your own downfall. You're going to try and live up to this image, and anything that stirs that image is going to send you restless. And then how are you going to be this amazing self if you're just constantly in flux, So I guess the theory of no self is realizing there is no singular self. Obviously we get a body and a mind, and we get to think things, but it's just another part of the universe, the whole of the universe. It's not a separate entity from the universe. It's nothing we need to bolster and build. You can do that naturally, but it's nothing. There's no conformity image you need to live up to. It's about flowing with the everyday, experiencing the everyday. No self is to see what's before you as a part of everything, as a part of oneself as well, as a part of the whole, and to just flow and experience and see. It's the observing, the one that constantly sees, which is regarded as the true self. Why is it regarded as the true self? Because it's stable. It is always there. It is the you that is always you, the one that sees. It's not the you that attaches yourself to thought or perceptions of others or the things we have in the material world. Oh, look, this basketball is worth $100. Very cool. If it gets lost, I'm going to cry because it means so much to me. The me that doesn't exist. Because that suffering is caused from the attachment we have to the ball rather than the true self, which is just aware of the things in reality and doesn't give emphasis to everything and give too much emphasis to the self. When we're always trying to find our place in the world as well, it's pretty much a lifelong journey trying to discover the self for most people. Why is that? It's because they never know the self. And everyone's been through this, myself included. It's just a constant, you're trying to discover something which is always moving, which is always changing. And that's where we got to learn to just be. And we are just as we are. as we always are. You don't say you're something and then trying to conform to that something. You just be, experience, and you just are as you are. Just be, we call it. Just navigate the environment from a place where you see it before you and you're just a part of everything. I probably could say that a bit better. Probably could say all of this a bit better, honestly. Need to go back to writing on ego again. But yeah, that was a little rant. Not rant, but I guess it's just trying to understand. And there's definitely points that were missed. But essentially, don't conform to a self-image. Don't attach yourself too heavily to a perceived self. Because through this attachment, suffering is formed to the point where we blame things for a perceived downfall of self. We attach ourselves to perceived downfall or bolstering of self. It's like an entity, and everything works inwards towards building this depiction of self. Whereas when you let go of that self-image, when you become one with the universe, it's broken pinky. It's like everything is just as it is, and it always will be as it is. There is no self to create. There is just a self that is observing and aware. There is no achievement to be reached to determine who you are as a being. It is you are always who you're always a being. Like nothing changes. And it's hard to find the self because we're always trying to claim things for the self, as we've said before. We're always trying to find things which presents a better self, but I think it becoming the self, the constant self, the observing self, and then pursuing life looking outwards rather than in, is a lessening of the ego, understanding you're one with everything, other people, the world, just one with the whole, and pursue with the theory in mind that there's nothing to claim to obtain your optimal self. I don't know if optimal is the right word, but like your present self. There's nothing you need to obtain out here to become peaceful and at peace with what is. It's all already there. It's ego which stirs that image, which makes you think, I need more, I need more, I need more, I need more, so that I can be up. It's a bit all over the shop, but that's our thoughts for today. We will delve into that when we get more information, and please share your thoughts, because ego, self-image, self-perception, self-focused attention, such a deep topic, so much to learn. Essentially, just stop placing so much emphasis on the self. All it is really causing your own suffering. You're already perfect the way you are. You're already one. You're already like divine with everything else. So just be that divine. Just experience and see. And reminder, we're all gonna die as well. So everything you build on this ego, it's gone. It's fucked, you could say. Going to get fucked and it won't be remembered. So stop placing so much emphasis on the self. Moral of the story, just have some fun, just experience it and be the self. Be a self that sees, that is the self, it's constant. Anyway, rant complete. Take care, people, and we'll see you for day 95. See ya.